Hi everybody, welcome to Wonkovation Technology again. I'm Lakshmi. We will be continuing the series further, and this is our fourth video where we will be discussing about the conference paper. For those who have not seen the previous videos, we have discussed about review papers, what and all to be included, what not, and everything about review papers, and how to start writing a research paper if you are a very beginner. Please have a review or preview of those videos and come back here. Let's get started with the today's video, which tells about conference papers. Conference papers to the general papers to your actual research paper, there are a lot of differences. For a beginner to get into start writing a journal paper, it is very obvious for the person to first have some conference papers in hand, publish those papers in reputed conferences, then get a step into journal papers. In today's video, we'll discuss about conference paper. Further classes, we will discuss about journal paper, what are the differences, so on and so forth. Okay, your conference paper is both a written as well as a oral document. It needs to be documented as well as a oral presentation needs to be get ready to present it in the conferences. It is both a oral and a written document. What are the points needs to be considered while writing a conference paper? Those are the points answered here. That is the common question for it will be raised in all of us, right? What are the points needs to be analyzed? That is answered here. See, for which person these conference papers are more helpful? It is best for the person who is very new to the research field, right? A person who is very new to the research field, he can opt for a conference paper. That is the basic criteria, and it is the very best way to present your research idea. Exactly. Before getting into journal papers, writing some 100 papers on your own and going lost with the flow of the paper, it is very good to write a conference paper. Limit yourself to 10 pages, implement your idea to that limited pages and present it at a conference and get published. This is very simple and a very hygienic as well as the simplest way to get the knowledge about the research thing. It is very helpful to get the opportunity, right, of meeting your peers or other researchers and getting their feedback to you, right? There lies in a lot of opportunities to you. If there are any wrong things going wrong with the flow of the paper, there will be your fellow mates or your peers or other research people who will be helping out to you by their valuable feedback. You will grab a lot of opportunity there. It will improve your professional skills in the field or area you have chosen, right? It will increase your professional skills. Why it will increase your professional skills? Because you will be getting a feedback on the paper you have written, right? For implementing that, you will be putting some effort. That effort, if it is right or wrong, will be analyzed here. So it is best to choose a conference paper first. It is the preview of your all-over research work done. Before getting into a journal paper or an actual research paper, your conference paper lies as a preview of your research work. These are the points where you can get in relation with your conference paper first, right? These are the 5 basic points. Let's move on with the presentation, where this slide answers you what format your research conference paper should follow, right? Till now you got an idea why I have to write a conference paper, because it acts as a preview. How in what way is it presented a conference paper? Both oral and a written documentation, right? Next question which comes into your mind is, what is the best format to write a research paper and what the body should include? Both these questions are answered here, right? The most commonly used conference papers format will start with the title of the presentation or the paper, and it will go with the abstract, and it will go with the content, detailed described content. Okay, this will be the normal format. If you are opting for any particular conferences, like there will be, like for example, take n conferences there in the research field. For an example, we are taking, okay, n conferences, like there will be 10 conferences. Okay, you will be choosing number 6th conference where you have to publish your paper. That conferences will be relying to the field of area of field you have chosen. Okay, you have to make sure that you are following the format that particular 6th conference is following. Okay, you have to always relate your paper format to the conference you're choosing. If it is IEEE has a separate format. Likewise, other conferences will be having their separate format. You have to have a look to it. That is the one way of choosing the format. The general way is it will start with the title, go on with the abstract, and it will go on with the detailed content, right? And second point which you have to keep in mind is your paper should be well structured and it should be concise. Okay, you shouldn't prolong your idea. It should be very precise and it should be to the actual point. It should be well structured and it should be free of all kind of errors. Not only the grammatical errors, be it any type of error, it should be error free. These are the 2 points which you need to keep in mind. This is about the basic knowledge of how a format should look like. The next very slide will tell you what and all should a body consider. I'll also answer that question to you all. How to structure a conference paper. First one, it is followed by title. Your paper title should be specific, it should be concise, and also it should be very descriptive. The title, as I said, it should be very specific, concise, to the point, and it should be descriptive at the same time, right? For my first conference, paper was on machine learning, right? Where we were analyzing the emotions behind the text, right? If we are given a sentence, you are beautiful, we were analyzing the emotion behind the sentence, you are beautiful, right? That was our entire project based on. Our topic should be very relevant to the description in the further thing. That is how you have to set your title. After title, then comes your abstract. Abstract should be the entire summary of the research what you have conducted, right? As I told you, my first conference paper was about emotion, analyzing the emotion behind the text, right? If that is my conference paper's theme, then entire thing should be there in the abstract. Like what is emotions? Okay, to start from that basic, you have to tell what is an emotion, right? How to analyze the text, emotion in the text, and how have you done this? What are the methodologies you are used? That is the algorithm you're used for the approach, and how you're concluding, right? Or every information about your conference paper should be made as a gist, and it should be described within some 100 to 120 words. That is your abstract, providing a summary of the research what you have conducted. Then followed by funding root node. This is a column which is optional in the conference paper. Okay, if you're conducting a research which needs a funding, okay, so if some person has given some funds for the conduction of your research, then that should be mentioned in this funding root node. For example, in my case, there were nobody to fund my research because it was conducted on by my own, and there were no much expense also. For if you consider some physical research which going in the some other domain or area, it needs a financial support, right? If that is done by some person, then that should be provided in this funding root node as a honor to them, right? If the research you are doing is supported by any funds, then that should be mentioned in the section of funding root node, right? The first three topics in the conference paper in the body is the title, followed by your abstract, followed by your funding root node, which is an optional. Okay, then comes your actual body, that is your introduction. You have to introduce the topic in brief. Okay, first you have to give an introduction to the your theme. Okay, for in my example, emotion extraction behind text is my theme. I have to entirely tell them what is an emotion, how to find out the emotion in the text, taking an example like, yeah, rose is a beautiful flower. What is the emotion here? Is it a positive emotion, negative emotion, beautiful? What kind of word is that beautiful, right? You have to take an example, tell that, and you have to slightly introduce the methodologies there. Okay, that will be in the introduction part. What comes in the method? You have to tell the methods or the approach or the algorithms which you have chosen in detail. Okay, that comes in your methods section, which is followed by your introduction. You have to formulate your entire research question. Okay, you have to tell them like, why have I chosen this domain or theme as my research, like what and all the methodologies are already there, how am I contradicting to the existing methodologies, right? Everything like this should be there in this method section. Okay, entire description, advantages, disadvantages, your applications, how your area of interest is doing in the real time area, how it is functioning in the real time, like what and what not, everything pertaining to that theme or your research area, pertaining to the topic title that you have given. You have to mention every possible information in your method section, which is followed by your results and discussion. Okay, you have to give the results. Every research will be having some outcome, right? That is your result. You have to mention that result, followed by discussion, and you also have to interpret your result. Okay, that is what comes in your discussion section. That is, you have to give the results which is achieved, and you also have to interpret the result. Okay, that comes in your research and discussion section, which is followed by your conclusion. Okay, you have to summarize entire research thing. You have to conclude your main theme. Okay, then followed by all your references. You have to give references. This is one of the most basic and important point. Okay, without you, if for example you have taken a reference from so X and Y paper, okay, you have to mention that without mentioning that if you've used that, if that owner of that research paper comes to know, then he can be legalizing that point. Okay, you have to mention the references. This is about the entire body of your conference paper. You saw what is a conference paper till now, which was followed by why the conference paper. You have to analyze why conference paper. You saw some 6 points. It is one of the preview. One of the basic point was it is the preview of your entire research thing, which was followed by the format, what and all the body should have, right? Title followed by abstract, followed by your introduction part, that should be followed by the entire description, methods and everything, followed by your results, conclusion and references. This is your body of the conference paper. Then you have to consider this point. What are the tips it needs to be covered, right? You have to, these are some of the basic tips. It should focus on the, you have to focus on your abstract first. Keen observation will be on your abstract. Nobody will be having that much patience to go through your entire 30 pages or 10 pages of your conference. They will just see the abstract and decide whether to go through the entire paper or not. So you have to focus on your abstract. You have to create a logic flow there. Without a logic flow, there is no paper. You have to be careful with the length. Your conference paper should not exceed more than 10 pages. Okay? Then you have to go through the format guidelines where this question arises. See, as I mentioned a couple of minutes back, see, if you are producing your conference paper to certain conference, okay, there will be certain format guidelines. You have to follow that. It can be your page format. Some might tell you we have to have two split format. Okay, one page should be split into two. Some conferences may tell you don't want that split, and some will be having some particular font length to font size and font style to consider. You have to go through all these things. Okay, then you have to, the next point is you have to read your paper out loud, meaning you have to go through your conference paper again and again and again and again and come to a conclusion where your paper is okay. Right, you have to revise, you have to remove, you have to recover the things what you have done wrong, and everything you have to do and get your paper ready. That is, you have to read your paper out loud. Okay, then followed by the last point where you have to write your conference paper for the audience you're targeting, right? In my case, I published my conference paper in emotion recognition and text. I targeted the audience who were behind the natural language processing, who were behind deep learning, who were behind neural network. Okay, like this, you have to target your audience. These are some of the tips which you have to consider while writing your conference paper. This is about today's video where you studied about your conference paper. We have also have another video on our channel which is regarding your review papers. Have a look into it and stay tuned for more of the videos where in the next video I'll be telling about general papers and followed by what is the difference between your conference and your general paper. Stay tuned for more videos and support our YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching our video.